Thank you, Rachel. In order to better serve students, Shelby County Schools has made it its mission to build stronger relationships with families and communities through partnerships. The Family and Community Engagement Division is tasked with executing this mission. Here today to talk in depth about it is Antonio Harvey, a manager for Family and Community Engagement. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me today.
Yeah, so we hear a lot about different departments at the board. You know, we have student services and optional schools, and I don't know that a lot of people, maybe I'm wrong, know as much about the Family and Community Engagement Division. So can you tell us a bit about what you do?
Well, Family and Community Engagement, as we call ourselves FACE, we are the face of the Shelby County Schools, and what we're tasked with doing is actually equipping our families to be more informed, to become advocates for our schools and for our children, and also to develop partnerships with our community so they can be effective in supporting all of our initiatives that we have set for the upcoming years.
And you mentioned initiatives. I noticed there are 5 pillars
Yes,
that you focus on. What are those?
So our 5 pillars that we actually live in within the FACE department is number 1, student safety. Number 2 would be our community outreach piece, where we actually building those partnerships. Number 3 would be that attendance and academic piece that we really focus on supporting along with the ESSA law. And then we're also looking at equity, which is a big thing now. And then lastly, we're looking at strengthening the families. And if we strengthen the families, then it's going to support all of our other pillars to make them actually operate effectively.
You mentioned strengthening families, and you provide a lot of resources for families to use outside of the school day. Can you tell us about some of those resources?
FACE office is, we really are about solutions and about being a solution-based organization. And so when we come into our schools, we're looking to see what are the needs of our constituents. And so it can be anything from needs of clothing, housing, transportation, or maybe little things just maybe mentoring. And so we come in, we provide those services or find those resources through partnerships to provide those things at our schools. And this has been a very successful year, and I'm just excited to be in this department.
Now, if you have people that would like to volunteer to be a part of this, how do they do that?
You can actually come to our office, which is at the Board of Education at room 164, or you can actually go online to www.scsface.org, and you can begin the process there. But if you're going to go into the different levels and be more interactive with the students, you have to do a background check and get those things approved as well down at the board.
And what kinds of things do you need volunteers for?
We need volunteers for a lot of different things. We have mentoring programs at our schools. We have reading programs that we have at the schools. We also have tutoring programs too. So we need mentors for those things. And we need mentors for chaperoning. And then as we get into the testing season, we're going to need proctors to come in and support the schools in that way as well.
Great. Now, there are also parent ambassadors. Can you tell us a little bit about what that entails?
That is a very integral part of our organization, and those individuals are very important. These are parents who have identified that they want to support the initiatives with the school district, and they come in and give their time. They do a lot of training. They learn about the different functions of the school, and they're advocates for our school district. And so we really appreciate them and for the things that they're doing with our school district and with our students.
What are some challenges that you face currently?
Challenges we face currently? I think that the biggest thing is to really galvanize everybody in the same way. As we know, we're moving into a new stage in Shelby County Schools. We have a great new interim superintendent that's coming in, and we're excited about the things that he's going to be delivering to our school district. So the biggest challenge is going to be able to get that message out to everybody about the great things that are happening in SCS, and then actually having people to come in and support us. And so we're really asking the community to come out and support us and really be a part of the great things that are happening in SCS.
Great. And what are some of the strengths that you have as being a part of Shelby County Schools?
I think some of the strengths that we have being part of Shelby County Schools would be, number 1, our heart. The work that we're doing in our schools is hard work, but it's also work that comes from the heart. I can just speak for myself. I'm a native Memphian, was an educator in the classroom for 15 years and spent 8 years as an administrator. And I've taken those things to actually think about how do I actually support our students to be global leaders and to transform their lives. And so I think that's a strength. The human capital we have in the Shelby County school system is very powerful, and I think that's an added plus for what we're doing in the schools.
What are some goals for FACE as we move?
I think for FACE, we have quite a few goals. Number one, we really want to build greater partnerships within our community, build more business partnerships and more faith-based partnerships to come in and support the schools, so we can have one community, one school, and one child being supported always in our school environment. We also are looking to have more volunteers. And so that's a huge push this year. We have about 5,000 volunteers who are actually working in the schools now, but we're looking for even more.
Great. Well, I appreciate your time today,
Yes,
and thank you so much for telling us about FACE and what you're doing. I think there are probably a lot of volunteers in our communities who just don't know how to get involved, and this gives them a way.
And we need them.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, here's Raina Katko with our School of the Month.